terms of winners and losers, I mean, every shakeout in the industry that's happened has resulted in some winners, some losers. Chrysler was a loser in the 1980s. It had to get bailed out. It was also a loser in the 2010s, 2008, 9. It had to get bailed out. General Motors as well. Those companies survived. And I wouldn't say, they're necessarily flourishing, but they had enough life put back into them to avoid the loser tag. And because there's so few companies in the industry, in the North American industry, even though there's been a growth in the number of companies recently, you're going to see more losers and more winners. So I always say, this is akin to about 1923, 24, 25, where you had one dominant player, which was Ford and his Model T, and it was Tesla and, their Model 3 and Tesla in the EV market had more than 50% of the EV market, and now it's declined, just like Ford Model Ts were more than 50%. By 1923, 24, 25, you see a shrinking of the industry in the number of players, in part because of Ford wiping the competition out, but also because auto becomes so hard to do. And that's one of the things that we avoid. This obvious fact is, for most of the period between 1945 and the 2000s, we referred to it as the big three because there was only three companies that had the wherewithal, the scale, the stature, the ability, the 150,000 workers to pull off auto manufacturing. It's really hard. It's really hard. Now we've got a whole bunch of new players in the North American sector. So you're going to see more people who win, more people who lose. Tesla is a great case here, right? Obviously a winner for a long time, set the stage, set the table, was the market leader, had an incredible run in terms of proving that EV manufacturing could be done at scale, could be done it profitably. Let's leave aside all the carbon credits that Elon was able to get. But, there were a couple quarters where a Tesla made money on its automobile operations alone without anything else.
Only a couple, let's be clear.
But that proved that he could do it. And, he sells 2 million cars a year. So it's doable. It's totally doable. Now, Ford, the Titan, went through this phase too, where they declined and they faced all kinds of challenges from new players in the market, new players who were able to do things, innovate a little bit differently. And Tesla's following that pattern. They have a very small amount of vehicles that they offer, really only 4, and really only 2 when it comes to mass market stuff. The X and the 3 and the Y, really, the 3 and the Y. And then they don't have a lot of product pipeline coming down the pipeline. They had the Cybertruck, which is, I know this is going to be hard, but it's a loser. It's a complete loser. It's a complete flop. I think, they were scheduling, Elon wanted 500,000 vehicles a year on that product. And, he's going to get 50,000, maybe. So Tesla's both a winner and could be a loser. And I hate to say this, Anthony, and I know this is going to sound really brutal, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility in a year or two where it's Tesla that needs a bailout.